in all sports, whether you're lifting weights, whether you're fighting, whether you're playing baseball, whether you're hitting a golf ball, whether you're playing tennis, it's your ability to stay in balance and in centered is the most important thing in athletics. Catching a football, shooting a basketball, all of those sports has to do with being in sync and in balance and connected. This thing teaches your system to stay centered and connected and in balance. And then as you grow with this machine, your strength can grow. But if you try to push on me too hard, right? It works against you. If I push on this machine too hard, what happens? My ass pops out, my posture changes, I don't have any strength, and I get exhausted. Yeah. I get exhausted you set this thing for 10 minutes and you try to do an isometric and push too hard, you can't do it. But you can be in balance and have your center of balance underneath you and push with this machine and still be working. You get it? You can still be working, but when you're pushing, you're not exhausting yourself to the point where, and again, when we talked about earlier, you have to breathe. If you lose connection with your breath is energy. Right. Without breath, you can't hold your breath for more than whatever the longest human being can hold his breath. At the end of the day, you have to take a breath. When you lose connection with your breath, you lose energy. If you watch fighters, which is always my example, when the fighter loses his breath, when he runs out of gas, then all he becomes is a heavy bag, and he gets killed in a fight because he has no conditioning. His conditioning goes. It's the same thing if you watch the championship tennis match. A championship tennis match, when they get into the 5th set, the guy begins to lose his breath. He loses his energy source, his breath. Then he is conditioning. The difference between the guy that wins and the guy that loses is his conditioning. This thing conditions you to be in balance and be relaxed, even though you're pushing it. And the more you play with it, the more you can push harder and be in balance. And the more you can push harder and be in balance, then you can take that person that you're playing with and you can beat them. Because they can't go to that level that you're going to because you're relaxed pushing harder. When you're relaxed pushing harder, you're deadly. A whip is a whip and it hurts. As opposed to this. Like a robot. Blah, blah, blah. Now here's how I envision the future of Spineforce. My background is health and fitness, physical education, martial arts, and I envision this to be the most advanced piece of equipment to strengthen people's core. The core is the trend word for the 21st century. This is the, by far, most advanced piece of equipment on the planet. To explain it in simple terms, it's about pushing, it's about pulling, and it's about combining a push and a pull. A push and a pull. So when we take this machine, what takes Spineforce to a whole nother level than any other piece of equipment out there is the fact that the place that you grip and push against, it actually has the ability to move. This column will move for different skill sets. On top of that, the column will be moving at certain times when it's set to do that. The platform, the place that we stand and place our feet, is going to oscillate and it's going to move. So it's going to change the terrain. As I'm on it, I set my stance, and then the actual floor is going to move underneath me, and it's going to oscillate, is what we call it. While that's happening, I'm going to be told by the computerization of the screen to either be pushing or pulling. Now, the beauty of this is that if I bring it to the basic fitness center skills, you have, if I grab this at a balanced grip and I have a good balanced stance with my feet shoulder width apart and my pelvis underneath me and my spine straight, and I push against it, It's similar to what they call in the gyms a military press or a shoulder press. If I grab this grip and I am in the same posture and I pull down, it's a lat pull. This is a military press. This is a lat pull. This has sensors in it throughout this entire handle setup. Has sensors in it, and it senses, it tells me to push, and it senses my strength pushing. It tells me to pull, it senses my strength pulling. It can also ask me left hand push, right hand pull, and it differentiates and it senses my strength pulling with the left, pushing with the right, or vice versa. There's so many different ways that you can grip. And I'm standing square. I haven't even talked about standing in different postures and different positions based on different athletic activities in different parts and pieces and parts of your body. The opportunities are endless. They're endless. For as long as I live, continuing to play with this machine and play with this company, I'll continue to challenge it. And it will continue to challenge me.